Welcome to the Know, I'm Ashley Jenkins. Turns out fewer and fewer of you guys are giving money to make games. 2016 is shaping up to be one of the worst years yet for crowdfunding. According to research done by Games Industry, only $20 million has been pledged to games on Kickstarter and Fig this year. That's only slightly above 2014, which was the worst year on record for crowdfunding games. It gets worse. For the first time since Kickstarter launched in 2009, there have been fewer projects trying to get funded, with just over 1,800 video game projects seeking money. Still, 325 projects were actually funded on Kickstarter this year, which is less than last year's 380, but that's still in the ballpark. Honestly, kind of blaming Mighty Number 9 for all of this. I really wanted it to be good, and it's so bad. No one's ever, so like, here's the thing, people just go, after that, yeah, no, I'm not gonna make that mistake again, except for the next game that looks cool. Good news for PS4 Pro owners. Some of the games that have been having problems on the new console are finally starting to get fixed. Last month, Battlefield 1 players started reporting that the latest update caused performance issues on PlayStation 4 Pro, namely blurry maps and frame rate drops. Fortunately, DICE has said that tomorrow's Giant's Shadow map update will bring a fix for you pro gamers. Another high-profile game plagued by frame rate drops on the Pro, The Last of Us, has also just been updated by Naughty Dog. Digital Foundry reports that the new 1.08 update does fix the frame rate problems, but with a little bit of a trade-off. Aliasing is now much more noticeable, and some of the high-quality shadows are a little bit glitchy. It also seems that Naughty Dog has removed super sampling from the 1080p mode, which basically means that Pro owners without 4K TVs get zero benefit. So that's cool. Hopefully developers and Sony continue to work out these kinks, but we're already making some progress. In an alternate timeline, we may have been playing Minecraft by Nintendo instead of Minecraft by Notch, which is a weird thing to think about. In a new interview with Glixel about Super Mario Run and Nintendo's new direction, Shigeru Miyamoto is saying that the company had a Minecraft-style game of their own almost a decade before Minecraft became a worldwide phenomenon. According to Miyamoto, we had actually done a lot of experiments that were similar to that back in the Nintendo 64 days, and we had some designs that were very similar. However, it seems that Nintendo's blocky builder didn't meet up to Miyamoto's infamous quality standards. In fact, he says that what's most impressive about the real Minecraft is that all the mechanics came together to form an enjoyable game. It's kind of fun to imagine a world where Nintendo made Minecraft instead of, say, Mario Was Missing, or the Virtual Boy, or the Wii U. You know. Turns out that VR games are a lot like roller coasters. They might make you puke, they might both have height requirements, apparently that's a new thing. The upcoming game Onward, which is a squad shooter reminiscent of Arma, has a minimum height requirement of 5 feet 6 inches, which would exclude 13% of American men and a whopping 78% of American women. This girl is one of them, and she's not happy about it. The developer, Downpour Interactive, is aware that excluding so much of its potential player base is a problem, especially when you think about the fact that VR has a player-based problem to begin with, and wrote that on the game's Steam page that lowering the minimum height requirements is a goal. Thanks. But head height in VR games continues to be an issue just across the board. Making head height adjustable is a good accommodation, one designer wrote on VR in Flux, but if that changes the player's hitbox, that could lead to everyone choosing the smallest body possible to gain an advantage. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. I don't know about you guys, but I did play an awful lot of Kermit the Frog on Half-Life multiplayer for that exact reason. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens long term. Obviously, mainstream VR is still working out the kinks in a lot of areas, but hopefully at some point people under 5'6" will be able to shoot virtual bad guys just like everyone else. Please, don't pick me last. Dota 2's massive update has hit like an atomic bomb, with huge changes to the popular MOBA's gameplay, essentially forcing players to relearn some pretty basic stuff. Version 7.00, which was the first new version number in more than a decade, adds entire new mechanics to the game, which has forced lots of veterans to basically start from scratch, and some of them are not happy about it. Some of the changes include new hero talent trees and an overhaul of the game's main map, according to Kotaku. That's been hit with some players who have said that the game had gone stale and was in desperate need of an overhaul, but others have been, shall we say, a little bit peeved with the update, voicing their frustrations on the game's subreddit. It's just incredible that despite being one of the top 3 esports in the world, having a massive casual player base, a level of complexity unlike any other major esport, and a level of balance approaching perfection, the creator just went fuck it, I'm bored, and turned everything upside down, wrote a player named Arain, who puts it very nicely, actually. Bad news for The Last Guardian, aside from the 10-year delay and people complaining about the awkward controls. Again, I am one of those people. It was outsold by Dead Rising 4, at least in the UK. That's right, even though critics liked it more, the PS4 exclusive sold fewer physical copies than did Dead Rising 4, according to the UK company ChartTrack, which doesn't count digital downloads. Unfortunately, none of the chart trackers, US, like MPD doesn't either. No one gets digital because publishers don't want to share that information, so we just still have to rely on physical. But both games charted well below Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, FIFA 17, Battlefield 1, and Final Fantasy 15, so basically, both are fighting to see who can be the valedictorian of summer school. I mean, congrats anyway, Dead Rising 4, I guess. The Hollywood premiere of Rogue One happened this weekend, bringing our first full impressions of one of the most anticipated movies of the season. I didn't realize it was anticipated until everyone started tweeting about it, and then I really anticipated it. Twitter lit up with initial thoughts from the premiere, and so far the praise is overwhelmingly positive. Kevin Smith wrote that the movie is unbelievably wonderful. No lie, it is Empire Strikes Back great. You be careful with that, Kevin Smith. Mashable's Chris Taylor called it heart-stopping and dark, like darker than Empire Strikes Back dark. There it is again! You be careful with the comparison, please. It's really hefty praise, and it also didn't stop there. Others called it fantastic, some felt it was better than The Force Awakens, and perhaps most importantly, many said it feels like Star Wars. Of course, keep in mind that movie premiere events tend to generate that kind of hype right out of the gate. The real test will be what critics and audiences think, but so far, it sounds like all those reports of reshoots have not spelled doom for Rogue One just yet. Bill Nye is now vying for biggest buzzkill in the scientific community thanks to some new Star Wars criticisms. On the red carpet ahead of the premiere of Rogue One, Nye said that Star Wars used to infuriate him because of how it didn't hold up to science. You think? He specifically mentioned the lack of air in space, preventing noises like explosions or the iconic Star Wars laser sound effects, but one of his biggest gripes was the Force, which simply can't exist scientifically. It can if you have midichlorians, apparently. Thanks for telling us stuff that we already knew. No, I mean, it's science, it's like science fantasy, really. It's not like hard sci-fi, it never was. Fortunately, Nye says he's come around to Star Wars and he enjoys it now as science fiction. I'm sorry, has it changed genres dramatically? These echo Neil deGrasse Tyson's buzzkill thoughts on basically everything Star Wars. After the release of The Force Awakens, he said that BB-8's design wouldn't allow the droid to roll on sand, despite the fact that BB-8 was a practical effect and totally did roll on sand, so suck it, science. Don't mess with BB-8. Okay, so maybe half the shots actually involve someone pushing BB-8, but the point still stands. Don't kill our dreams. Don't be a buzzkill. Let us like stuff. Science be damned. What do you guys think of all the stories in today's roundup? Let us know in the comments, and for more stories from every corner of the internet, like this video and subscribe to The Know. Also, if you're really bored, you can now watch The Know on your console because we have the Rooster Teeth First app on Xbox One, and it's pretty great. So you can watch us from your couch. You can be smart while you're on your couch.